No matter who you are, becoming strong and influential enough to be able to influence the value of market goods with a single tweet is extremely empowering. However, when compared to the ability to go up against a whole country of Russia's caliber and be taken seriously, that rapidly becomes child's play. Elon Musk is doing exactly that as he unleashes his rage on Russia and its president, Vladimir Putin, on social media and in person. Welcome to the Be Wiser. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon, since we're your favorite provider of all things about Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has been gradually growing, and the dangerous global scenario has generated reactions from many corners. Of course, Elon Musk has resurfaced, and he has challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin to a single combat. That's right, Elon Musk has strongly called for a fight to the death with Vladimir Putin, evoking the legendary trial by combat sentence handed down in medieval Europe, which has been immortalized in works of fiction and non-fiction. Two sides meet in a gladiatorial fight to the death to settle a dispute in a trial by fighting. This direct, force-based approach of resolving conflicts dates back to ancient German tribal law. Musk's desire for a showdown is intriguing, especially given that he has been personally assisting the Ukrainian war effort through Starlink in response to a request from Ukraine's deputy prime minister. Musk appears to have made Ukraine the focus of his dissatisfaction, as seen by his tweet. "I hereby challenge Vladimir Putin to single combat," he added. "Ukraine is on the line. Do you agree to this fight?" he asked in Russian in a follow-up tweet tagged with the Russian president's official account. While neither Putin nor the official Kremlin account has responded, one of Musk's frequent Russian Twitter foes has. The head of Russia's space agency Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin, tweeted a passage from Alexander Pushkin's The Tale of the Pope and His Work Balda. In a Google Translate translation, the passage reads roughly as follows: "You, tiny devil, are still young. Compete with me weak. It would only be a waste of time. Overtake my brother first." With his passage, Rogozin appears to be implying from Putin's perspective that Musk is young and weak, and hence should not consider opposing a figure as powerful and imposing as Vladimir Putin. Rogozin is most likely referring to himself when he says brother, as in Musk should try to beat Rogozin first before going after Putin. Even by Musk's standards, it seems a little overdramatic, don't you think? "You appear to be a tough negotiator. Okay, you can have a 10% increase in pay-per-view." Musk replied to Rogozin with a tweet that included images of a shirtless Putin riding a bear and Musk playing with a flamethrower, among other things. "He can even bring his bear," he subsequently added. Musk is no new to trolling, and he has already sparred with Rogozin in this way. When Rogozin was Russia's deputy prime minister in April 2014, he stated that the U.S. astronauts should be transported to the International Space Station on a trampoline. He hasn't had the energy to respond to all of Rogozin's allegations, as evidenced by his silence when Rogozin claimed that Starlink would only be used to spy on Russia by U.S. Special Forces. Most notably, in October 2021, the Russian state news agency TASS published a story in which Rogozin stated, without providing any evidence, that Starlink could be used to adjust missile flight paths. They receive roughly $900 million this year, and the total subsidy for the next term is $20 billion. So why would the government do something like that? And the answer is that those spacecraft can give internet access as well as serve as a platform for controlling cruise missiles and modifying their flight paths while already in flight. They can also be used to communicate orders to special forces and agent networks, he added. Of course, we won't just sit and wait. Saphira is a project that we are working on. We want to orbit hundreds of our own satellites to safeguard our sovereignty, and it was submitted to the president earlier this year, Rogozin added. On June 7, 2018, Vladimir Putin acknowledged the Saphira program during his annual Q&A session. In the following years, Russia plans to launch over 600 communications and Earth observation satellites, he said. More details about the concept is currently lacking, though it is intended to serve as a Russian Starlink for internal usage only. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov noted in a prior interview with the daily newspaper Vedomosti that the government had set aside more than 10 billion rubles in the 2020-2022 budget for the project of establishing the Saphira orbital satellite grouping. However, given recent events and our understanding of Russia's economic stagnation, we can confidently say that this has been postponed indefinitely. Elon Musk and the U.S. government have nothing to fear from Russia's space ambitions, which have recently seen absolute deterioration and failure. In an editorial piece written for Russian official media, an experienced Russian astronaut admitted as much. Maxim Sarayev, a Russian fighter pilot who served on the ISS for 6 months in 2010 and 2014, has been a vocal critic of Rogozin and Russia's space program. After retiring from the cosmonaut corps, Sureyev was elected to Russia's lower house of parliament, the State Duma. Opponents of Russia, on the other hand, must be concerned about their hypersonic missile and rocket technologies, as well as their AI capabilities. Russia initially announced its hypersonic weapons arsenal in March 2018, ushering in the current generation of missile technology. The mobility of cruise missiles is combined with the speed of ballistic missiles in hypersonic weaponry. They can carry conventional or nuclear payloads at speeds of more than 10,000 miles per hour, avoiding current missile detection systems. Russia and China are now the only countries with offensive hypersonic missiles, with Russia revealing 2 weapon systems. The first is the Avant-Garde missile, which, after being fired from an intercontinental ballistic missile, can reach speeds of Mach 20. The second is the Kinzhal missile, which is launched from a M1G31K or a Tu-22M3. Despite the fact that these missiles can reach Mach 10, their genuine speed and range are being questioned. A Kinzhal missile launch from a M1G31K is reported to have been used in recent raids against Ukrainian military installations. Several countries, including the US, North Korea, India, France, and Australia, have attempted to build their own hypersonic weapons in recent years. They're doing everything they can to catch up. Despite their development, none of these countries has operable weapons at the moment. One can also wonder if missile monitoring is handled by Russia's Saphira satellite constellation system. Russia has also indicated that it is developing AI platforms, such as drones that might be used in conjunction with current aircraft, as well as land and marine platforms. According to the paper, Artificial Intelligence and Autonomy in Russia, released earlier this year by the Central for Naval Analyses, there are now more than 150 AI-enabled military systems in various stages of development in Russia. Meanwhile, no country, including China and Russia, has a system capable of monitoring or killing a hypersonic missile on its way. With its hypersonic and ballistic tracking space sensor, a satellite system designed to detect and track hypersonic missiles, the United States appears to be the most advanced. However, the entire constellation of satellites won't be operational until at least 2025. The hypersonic missile was most likely employed by the Kremlin to send a strong message to NATO that it should abandon the matter totally. If the Ukraine issue worsens and NATO enters the fray armed to the teeth, the Kremlin has indicated that hypersonic missiles will be used against NATO sites. Furthermore, if this regional conflict between the two countries escalates into a nuclear conflict, Russia will be able to fire nuclear weapons that NATO will be unable to counter. While it is unlikely that the war will grow to that point, NATO must contemplate the possibility. More crucially, it has far-reaching implications for the global defense sector, particularly in the context of the current hypersonic arms race. Each country feels driven to develop its own capabilities and defenses when a new type of weapon is used in combat. As a result, the weapons race is intensifying. In the next months, many countries will emphasize their hypersonic weapon projects, and the world will see tremendous advancements in this weapon technology. Many of us are left to wonder if this will result in a whole new private-public collaboration in the aerospace sector. Perhaps SpaceX, Blue Origin, Rocket Lab, Relativity Space, and others might collaborate in this area? The mind is totally fascinated.